Hello, what's up guys? This is Guy here with KBTrainings. This is where I share with you everything that I know in the IT or everything that I'm learning right now in this field. So this is a FortiGate 80D, and in this video I'm going to show you this small project. Of course, I do a lot of projects like this, but I have decided to do this in front of the camera just for you, just to share with you and show you how easy or how fun these things are. So I'm going to remove my old router that I had on my network. This is the Netgear R710. This is what I've been using so far. This thing is a beast. For a home network, it does a lot. It also has a 10 gig optical fiber port here on the back. It does remote VPN or remote client VPN. It also has very powerful Wi-Fi signal. It's very recommended if you have a huge house and you can put it in a basement, for example. All your rooms that are upstairs and everything will be well connected if you have this thing. So you will be asking yourself, Guy, do you really need an enterprise firewall for your home network? And the answer is that it depends. It depends on what you do. In a regular house, you don't really need it because all you do is having your devices that are inside your network connecting to the internet and, you know, doing whatever they do, streaming video or downloading file or browsing the internet in general. In my case, as an engineer, I have some ports that are open to the internet, and that is a vulnerability that I need to take care of. That's why this device will be very helpful. So I have ports like RDP. I mean, it's not open on the 3389, of course, but I have those ports that are open. I have GNS3 that can be accessed from outside, like my GNS3 server. I have some file sharing things that are being run. You can see one of my video in which I showed you my data center and everything that I do inside my network. And I've noticed these days that there are some IPs, mostly from Eastern Europe, that are trying to scan my network or my IP to see if there is any open port or anything like that. So I need some level of security in my home network. That's why this device will do a great job. And Fortinet, as you know, is doing a pretty good job right now. They are very strong, and they're building good devices. They're becoming very popular in small businesses in general because, of course, we talk about Cisco, we talk about Juniper, all those big ones, but FortiGate beat them in terms of price because they are very affordable. I got this one on eBay for less than $100 used. And also, I would like to be able to build some site-to-site VPN from wherever in the world if I have another VPN capable device, or if I just need to be connected to my network. This will do the job. The last reason is because I like technology. As a professional, I train myself every day. So having this kind of device in my home network will make me learn all the different options that are inside this device. And I'll be just good. My skills will be well in terms of firewall and some security and so on. So I really like this. And this is a web application firewall. So it goes from layer 3 to layer 7. So I would like to have some more visibility into what's going on in my network, what goes out, what comes in. All right, so let's get started. Let me show you my configuration that I have now, and then we go deeper. I'm going to wipe out all the configuration here, and I'll show you how to configure this from scratch, how to get basic connectivity, and how to start using this device. So to do that, we need these two cables. You may know this or not. First of all, we have the console cable, which is going to help us connect to this device and do the basic configuration. And then when we can have an IP configured and we have web access, then we can use an Ethernet cable to access to the web GUI and continue with the configuration. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. As I said, right now the FortiGate is configured and it's ready for my network. Of course, I haven't configured all the options yet because, as you know, it's a new generation firewall. It has a lot of options, a lot of small things that you can tweak inside to protect your network. So I'm going to show you what I have so far. I'm still going slowly. Usually in big corporate, you have a small or a big team that's dedicated to building these configurations and pushing them into devices. But I do this on my own. You know, I just build slowly depending on the needs, depending on the time that I have, but at least I have the basic to get started. So right now I'm going to show you what is inside the FortiGate. I'm going to the IP that's configured, the the management IP that I'm connected to right now. So this is the FortiGate. This is the inside. You can see the main screen that shows you all the information about the device itself, all the different features that I have, and everything else. Right here, you can see the CPU utilization, which is right now very low, not very used at this time. You can also see the memory used at 26%, and all the different sessions that are created by all the different devices inside the network. And right here, I can see the bandwidth of my current connection. And yeah, this is just good. I just like to see exactly how much traffic is being sent and received in my network. And right now, you don't see there's nothing pretty much going on because all the devices are shut. There's no one streaming anything. So right now I'm on YouTube. As soon as I start streaming something here, you can notice the difference or the jump in the inbound traffic. So let me go with 720, for example, which is, I think it's HD. Let's go with 720. I'm streaming a video right now, and you can notice from this inbound traffic that it's going to go up because this device is connected to the Wi-Fi inside the network. All right, you saw it jumping from some kilobit per second to 1.69 megabit per second because this device is right now streaming YouTube directly. These are small things that you can do with your firewall, that I can do with the firewall. That's why I liked it. So when you come here, you can see the different the physical topology or logical topology and so on. The FortiView will show you the different sessions that you have. These are the different devices that I have in my network. Which one is consuming the most bandwidth? Now I can sort them here to see which one is the most consuming, all those kind of small things. So traffic shaping and all of this, I haven't really configured anything here yet. For my network interfaces, I just have I have 4 ports, of course, on the device. So the first one is used for the internet, the second one is going to my lab, the third is for my home network, and the fourth is for the DMZ, where I'm going to put some servers that need to be facing the outside, like my GNS3 server. And I can also do packet capture. This is something that I like a lot. When there is a problem, when there's something to troubleshoot, I can do some packet capture here and see exactly what's going on and be able to fix the issue. For the system, different configurations and so on. I can also create some policy object here, and you can see I don't have a lot here right now. I just have some basic policy to allow traffic from the inside to the outside. This is for my home and this is for the lab, going in from inside to the outside, because if you don't have this, you won't be able to communicate. We're gonna see that later on in this video, how I'm going to create this to allow my laptop to communicate to the internet. And then I have different addresses and so on, proxy, IP pools, traffic shapers if I want to restrict some subnets from consuming a lot of traffic. And then I have security profiles here where I can do firewall, web filters, web application firewall. As I told you, this is a new generation firewall, so it does also web application firewall. I go from layer 3 to layer 7. I can do SQL injection, inspection, and all those kind of things. It's pretty good. You can block bots that are trying to use your resources in your network. FortiClient compliance for the VPN remote client and so on. SSL, SSH. Yeah, I can also build VPNs. Different kind of tunnels. I can build remote client tunnels, which I really like because sometimes I'm outside and I want to use some services inside my network. I can build the VPN from any device to the FortiGate, and I can also build side-to-side VPN. Here I have the users. You can do the LDAP server like Active Directory. I can integrate this with another external authentication server. I can use a Radius server, and these are the logs, and then the monitoring, different kind of monitoring, routing monitoring, DHCP monitoring, and so on. Yep, that's pretty much what's configured right now. So what I'm going to do is wipe out all this configuration. I'm going, of course, to download the file so that I can upload it at the end of this video instead of restarting everything from scratch. I'm going to download what I have and keep it. And when I'm done showing you what I did from scratch, because when I received the firewall, it didn't have I didn't know the credentials that were inside, so I had to clear or factory reset the device, and then build everything. So to save the configuration, I go here under configuration and I say backup on the local PC, and I click OK. This will download a file, which is the configuration file that I'm going to use to recover all this configuration. So right now what I'm going to do is wipe out everything and we go from there. All right, so we're here, and what we're going to do is wipe out the configuration in this FortiGate to load some new config. All right, so that's what I did when I received the device from eBay. As I said, I bought it on eBay. It was used, and I didn't know the credentials to log in. And yeah, we will do the password recovery process in this video. All right, so I just connected my console cable to the console port on the FortiGate, and the other side, the USB side, is connected to my laptop. So you can use any type of terminal to access the device. So right here I'm using Secure CRT. You can be using PuTTY or TerraTerm. So we are launching a new serial session from this terminal. Of course, the console cable is normally a serial. It connects to a serial port, but because things have evolved, we convert serial to USB, and we use a USB port for that. So I'm using a COM3 here for communication, and if you don't know what COM port to use, you can go under Device Manager in your computer, on your computer, and you're going to scroll and expand the ports section. That's going to show you what COM port number is being used here. So you can see it shows USB serial port COM3. So that's the 3 that we're going to use in the terminal, and the baud rate should be 9600 as recommended. And then you click on connect, and this is the output from the device. But right now the device is not powered on yet, so I'm going to connect the power cable to the FortiGate so that it will boot, and you'll be able to see it from here. So it's restarting now, and yep, we have an output from the FortiGate. It does all the things that it's supposed to do. And meanwhile, let's run some extended pings here so that we will have an eye on our connectivity, and we will know when the computer will have access to the internet. So this will be running in the background, and you can see from here that the FortiGate is rebooting. Yeah, it's booting for the first time, supposedly. All right, so when you get to the login line, this is where you put the username and password. In my situation, this is the config that I put in, so I know what is the admin account on this. But afterward, what we're gonna do is the password recovery as if we didn't have the credentials, just like I did the first time when I received the device. So I can try to log in with my current admin account, which is GUI for the username and the password. And now we are inside the device. This is where you can do all the configuration, but this is not what we're trying to accomplish. So we're trying to do the password recovery process here, and the password recovery process depends on the device that you're using. So of course, if you don't know anything, what do? You Google it. So we go on Google and let's try to look up for password recovery on the FortiGate. Of course, I have no internet because my firewall is unplugged and everything is down. So I forgot about that. So let's do the search on the phone. By the way, this is a voiceover. The original version of this recording was in French, if you want to watch the French version. But this is a voiceover for English. So when we do password recovery for the FortiGate 80D, we have this first link, and when we get there, they laid out all the process to do the password recovery. So as you can see here, step 1, step 2, step 3. I think we are already at the step 4 because we already have connection to our console cable. I mean to the terminal on the FortiGate. So on the step 5, so the 5th step is to reboot the device. So basically what we have to do is reboot the device and then log in with an account that's built in named maintainer. So the username for that account is maintainer, and we have to do that login within the first 14 seconds following the reboot. So the password for that account is going to be BCPB followed by the serial number of the device that you're trying to log into. So we're going to have that credentials written down somewhere in a notepad so that we can get it ready, have it ready, and then reboot the device. So let's put it right here. So it says the username is supposed to be maintainer, and the password would be BCPB followed by the serial number of the device. And we have many ways to get the serial numbers. The serial number, you can get it on the device itself, or you can get it from the CLI when the device is rebooting. So we have the serial number put there. Of course, I have to hide it to keep my device private. And now that we have that credential and we know what the process is, I'm going to reboot the FortiGate. So let me unplug the power cable now, and we need to wait for 10 seconds before powering on the device again, because we just want to make sure everything is cleared for memory and all the components are not loaded or anything. All right, so I just plugged in the power cable again, and the device is supposed to be rebooting now. So this is the output from our last boot that we had, and now the device is rebooting, and we have the login line again. So what we're going to do is, we need to do it within 14 seconds. So we're going to put username maintainer, and the password, we grab the same password that we had ready right here. All right, and then boom, we can log into the device. So now that we are in, we can do two things. We can change the password of the admin account that we had configured, or we can factory reset the device, and that is what we're doing here. I'm factory resetting the device so that all the configurations will be wiped out and we are going to restart everything from scratch. So the device is in the process of being reset right now. It just did. I just cut the time right there. It took like 5 minutes almost. And when you see the device rebooting with the host name as the serial number, with the serial number as the host name, that means there is no configuration on it. And the default login for FortiGate is admin without password. So you can log in now and you are free to do anything you want in the device. It's cleared from any configuration. So you can do the show interface, show system interface to see what are the interfaces on the device, and you can see that the port 1 is already configured with an IP that is supposed to be used for GUI access to this device. So this is a pretty good thing. What we have to do now is just make sure that our laptop is connected to the port 1 and is using an IP that is in the same subnet as the 192.168.1.99/24, so that we can have access to the graphic user interface of this device. All right, so I go under the network card configuration, and I change the configuration on that to, I can set my laptop to be .100. All right, so the laptop is going to be 192.168.1.100, and the subnet mask stays the same, and the default password is going to be the same as the FortiGate. I don't really have to put the DNS, but I'm just putting it just in case. Just looks good. So we have our device configured. You can see that we have some packets going back and forth. And what we're going to do now is access the GUI from this device. So we go on that IP, the 192.168.1.99, and boom, this is the GUI, the login page for the web GUI of the FortiGate, and it's reminding us to change the password. We'll do it later on. And also it's asking us to do the file system check, which can be done later. So I'm going to click on remind me later. And this is the inside of the FortiGate. You can see the serial number, which is now displaying as the user, the host name. And you can see all the other things. So let's do a quick graphic here on our situation. So we have this FortiGate with 4 interfaces, just to give you an idea of the design that we're trying to build here, which is very simple. So we have 4 interfaces on this device, and then on this end we have the internet. I know my handwriting is awful, but bear with me. So the internet port, the internet is going to be connected to the port 1 on this FortiGate. And the port number 2 is going to be connected to our home network. This is the port 2. And the port 3 would probably be for the DMZ, but we won't use it for now. It's just too much for what I'm trying to show you. And for the port 1, we're going to use DHCP. So the ISP is going to hand us out an IP that we're going to use for that. So on the port 2, we are going to configure a subnet on it, and we also make sure we have a DHCP server enabled on it for the clients that are coming in. So in the DMZ, we just leave it empty. So right now what we're gonna do first is change the host name on this device. We just click on the host name and click on that shortcut. So we are here in the system settings, and now we change the username to main ADD. And we can change many other things here. We can also change the HTTPS port number for management, but I'm just gonna leave it to default now. And then we click on apply, and you can see that the username changed to main ADD, the host name. So now what we're gonna do is create network interfaces. So we go under network and then click on interfaces. So we start with the port 2 that's connected to our home network. For name, it's going to be our home, and the role is LAN. And for the IP on that interface, we're going to give it a static IP of 110.0.0.1/24. And we need to enable a DHCP server on this interface for the subnet. And you can set a lot of options for the DHCP there, but we don't have to. So you just click OK, and that interface is created. So what we're gonna do later is connect the computer or the laptop on the port 2 so that we can have access on the inside, and the port 1 will be going to the internet or to the outside. Alright, so let's also make sure that we have HTTPS, HTTP, and the ping activated on this interface, so we'll be able to access to the management GUI and also ping it. And we still have our pings running here. They don't go anywhere because there is no connectivity. And the next step is to create the address, an object for the address that we just have for our home network. So we do create new address, and we're going to name it home subnet, and type still subnets, and the IP range is going to be 10.0.0.0/24, and the interface is going to be the port 2, which is the home network, and all of this stays the same. And then we can leave a quick note here or comments. So this is our home subnet, or we can just do home network. And then we click on OK. That's saved. And Before moving forward, before creating any policy here for our traffic, let's go and make sure the port 1 is connected to the internet. So I'm going to move my laptop from the port 1 to the port 2. And if you look at here, we don't have access to the FortiGate anymore because we are not connected to the port 1, and we need to configure our network card to be connected or to grab an IP from DHCP server on the port 2, which is our home subnet. So we come over here and we set the device to DHCP and we click OK. And then if we do an IP config, we can see that the device already has a new IP, which is 10.0.0.2 for the new subnet. And then we go on 10.0.0.1 to access the FortiGate. And from here, we can log in with admin and no password because we haven't changed it yet. Of course, over time, you have to create users or administrators with the right accesses and the right password or strong password for security. So we go under the interface number 1. You see it's still down. There's no link light on it. It's red. So what I'm going to do now is connect my Ethernet cable that's coming from the cable modem from my provider to the port 1. So it's connected now, and if we refresh this page, you're going to see that the port 1 is going to have a link light on it. It's going to be green. Okay, so there's something connected to it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set it to DHCP so that the device is going to request an IP from our internet service provider. We click on OK. And if you give it a moment, we're going to refresh this page and you're going to see that we will have an IP that was given by the internet service provider. So let's refresh this page. All right, so you can see that we already have an IP, a public IP that's assigned. And of course, I'm hiding the IP because it's my IP. It's probably going to be my IP for a while, so I need to hide it from the world out there. So from the CLI, we can ping Google in the FortiGate, so we're good. We have connectivity, but the device or the laptop that we are working on has not been able to connect to the internet, which is acceptable. I mean, which is normal because we don't have a policy object, an IPv4 policy created yet. So what we're gonna do now is create an IPv4 policy object, which will allow our traffic to leave the network and go on the outside. Go to the outside. All right, so the name of this policy is going to be a home subnet to WAN, and the incoming interface is going to be our home interface, which is okay. I like to give names to these interfaces, so I don't like it to be just like port 1. Let's go back to the port 1 and put the WAN name on it. So I'll go under port 1 and put WAN here, which is wide area network, and that's it. We go and click save or OK, and then we go back under policy and objects, IPv4 policy, and we create new policy. The name is home subnet to WAN. And incoming interface, it's going to be the home interface, and the outgoing interface is going to be WAN port going to the internet. Source, it's going to be our home subnet, and destination, it's going to be the whole internet. So we just take all. Schedule, it's always on, and service, we do all kind of services. And then NATs, of course, if you don't know NAT, just leave a comment, I'll explain. But NATs basically just translates our private IP into the public IP that we are assigned to. We are assigned by the service provider. So all of this stays the same. And when you look at the pings here, we still have no connectivity. But as soon as I click on OK to activate this policy, you can see here that we directly have access to the Google DNS and we can ping it. All right, that's it. That's the basic configuration to do on this device to be able to connect to the internet. Of course, as I said, this has a ton of options that you can configure, so it may take a while to have everything fully configured on this. But yeah, with this basic, you can do anything. We can go on the internet. You can go on Google. Let's run some speed test on this and see what we have. Yeah, we have over 300 megabit per second. That's the speed that we have now for download, and the upload is probably somewhere around 10 megabit per second. And that's it. So this is all you have to know to basically configure a FortiGate. As I said, it has a lot of features, a lot of options. You can see them under system and feature visibility, so you can activate or deactivate any of these functionalities in this firewall, so which is great. And yeah, it kind of increases the level of security in your network, and it's pretty good. So we have access to the internet here, and if you haven't, follow us on social media, and I'll be sharing with you a lot of projects like this. And okay, of course, before I forget, okay, also subscribe. And what I have to do now is restore my configuration that I had before, because you remember I already had it configured and I had to wipe it out just to show it to you. So now I go under restore and click on upload and choose the file that I downloaded. And as soon as I load this file in the system, my FortiGate will gain all the configuration that I had before. All right, that's it, guys, and let's keep in touch. Leave a comment, like if you like this, and we'll see each other on KBTrainings.com. And after this, I'll show you just how I put it on the wall and what the final result will be. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.